All eyes were on Thomas and Camilla as they sat and ate lunch in the corner of the cafeteria. Everyone was in shock, whispering amongst themselves about the two most unlikely people eating lunch together. My dad got a signal and thought it was best to find another family, Thomas said. He got online and found something that led him to Brazil. My post, Camilla said to herself. Your post? Asked Thomas. I received the same signal as your dad and went online and posted about it. I deleted it a little bit later, but your dad must have seen it and found me, said Camilla. What was the signal? What did it say? Asked Thomas. I couldn't figure it out exactly. I don't really know, and I haven't received anything since. It might have been nothing, a false alarm. I don't know, she said. I'm so glad I found you, said Thomas as he took a bite. What was it like for you to change? I don't want to talk about this here, she said. Where do you live? Moema, he replied. Me too. Meet me at the park, near the statue of Portão Seis after school. Gate 6, she said as she got up. Text me when you get there, as she slid her number across the table. Later that day, Thomas sat there at the park waiting for Camilla to arrive. Where are you? He texted. Turn around, she replied. Camilla walked up to Thomas carrying 2 drinks. Here, it's agua de coco. Walk with me. The two of them took off around the 6-kilometer track throughout the lush green park. So, you want to know about me, huh? She asked. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked you at school. I was just excited to know someone who was going through the same thing I am, said Thomas. Well, I'm not sure I'm going through this same thing. It hasn't been easy, replied Camilla. How so? Asked Thomas. Camilla walked in silence for a few seconds, taking a drink. Are your parents around? She asked. Yes, Thomas answered. Mine aren't, she replied. I'm sorry, I didn't know they had died, said Thomas. They aren't dead, they just aren't around. My parents are always gone, traveling, on vacation. For weeks at a time, I'm all alone, said Camilla. So who takes care of you? Who's at home with you? Asked Thomas. I'm not alone. I have my baba, my driver, and this park. They are there, but throughout this whole thing, my dad talked to me for like 10 minutes about our family and gift. I'd have figured most of this out on my own, said Camilla. I would be angry as well, said Thomas. What do you mean angry? As Camilla stopped and looked at Thomas. Everyone has been talking about you, eating alone in the cafeteria, late for school, not talking to anyone. You just seemed angry, said Thomas. Camilla put her head down and continued walking through the shadows of the trees above. I guess I am. Imagine going through all of this alone. The pain of that night was horrible, and my parents were gone. I screamed and cried to no one, and now I have to live with this curse. O Guardador, without anyone. You have me, said Thomas. I'm here. We'll figure this out together, I promise. Obrigada, she said. I'm tired of thinking about all this. How are you liking Brazil? Camilla and Thomas spent the late afternoon into the early evening walking around the park, talking about his move and her love for the beach and surfing. Time just flew as they realized they had more in common than their destiny. It sure got dark fast, said Camilla. They both looked up at the night sky and the stars that filled it. You know what's amazing? Even in a city like this, the stars still find their way to shine. When I said that I'm never alone, it's because I have this park. This is why. The energy of the people during the day and the peacefulness of the night sky at night. I feel like I've spent my entire life staring at these stars alone. You're not alone anymore, whispered Thomas. Camilla took her eyes off the stars and onto Thomas. It's best we get home soon. Not the safest to be at the park at night. But you just said this park is like home to you. How can it not be safe? Questioned Thomas. Yes, for me, not blonde-haired gringos like you. Which is your apartment? Camilla asked with a smile. Do you see that building right there? As Thomas pointed up above the trees. That's mine. Nice. Mine is around the corner from you, she replied. I'll walk you home, offered Thomas. The two made their way to the gate and exited the park. Thanks for today. I really needed it, said Camilla. Thank you. Now maybe you won't be mad at me when I talk to you at school, said Thomas with a smile. Camilla shyly looked up at Thomas. Sounds good. As they approached the intersection where they crossed to head home, Camilla felt a tug on her right wrist. Ole para onde você está indo. Look at where you're going, she yelled as she noticed a person running down the street. People are so rude. Just then she looked down at her wrist and noticed her wrist was empty. My bracelet, she screamed. It's gone! Without hesitation, Thomas and Camilla took off after the stranger, but it was too late. He had disappeared into the city. Oh no, Camilla yelled. What am I going to do?